my mother were high school.
Okay, oh, really?
And she had, and
Yeah.
Okay.
he passed away several years ago.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion to come out
So
of,
move.
Second.
motion to come out of executive second by Jared. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Let the record reflect no action was taken, no decisions were made. And anything else I need to say on that?
No, sir, you're fine.
Okay, we're out.
If I may, one additional item, Mr. President, is I got a text message this morning from David Ringer, who is the attorney for the city of Florence. And this is about the cooperation on the garbage collection that we talked about at the last board meeting. The board voted at the last board meeting to approve an interlocal agreement between Rankin County and the city of Florence for adding the city of Florence to the county's solid waste collection contract, which is in place with Waste Management. However, that motion was made contingent upon the city of Florence agreeing to maintain the billing and collection of the fee for that service. All right, so we went back to Florence and explained that to them. David and I worked on an addendum to the interlocal that was already in front of you guys, so that it clearly spelled that out. And then, so that was in place. My assumption was that they were preparing to go ahead and sign that, execute that, and get it back to us so we could finally approve it. But I got a text message saying that the question has come back: is there any way that the city of Florence could be allowed to retain a small percentage of the funds to pay for the billing, the service, the postage, and the cost associated with the billing? If they're going to keep that responsibility, they would like to be able to cover the cost of that. And so that was what came back. I don't know what small percentage means. So I texted back to David a small, what would be I think a small percentage, 5%, which would equate to about $1,000 a month that would be retained by them. So that just gives you an idea on the numbers. Okay, it may be that that's not adequate. It may be that that's more than adequate. I don't know. I have no idea what the cost to bill 1,500 resident or properties would be, but anyway, that seemed like it.
Did you find out whether or not they can tie into our contract legally?
Yes, sir. That they can. Waste Management is essentially on board and ready to implement. The minute they get word, they're ready to go. And so
we're gonna move them to 2 times a week?
Yep,
Yes,
they've already, I just got a message, not from them, but what they send out, all of Florence. It's like the park's closed or you got a water issue. Anyway, it says garbage pickup will begin such and such a day, 2 times a week on Thursday and Saturday, I think.
They're increasing their price to reflect that?
So their billing will reflect the twice weekly. It'll be the same amount that the county bills, except that they bill monthly, Bob. So I don't think that they're going to change their billing cycle. They're on a month to month.
If they're doing it however they want to do it.
Starting April 3rd, Wednesday and Saturday.
Yes, sir. So what we need direction on, and we're kind of out of time here. Waiting till Monday is probably okay, but my preference would be y'all give me the feedback so I can further engage Mr. Ringer to try to get us to an official number that they say will work, so that on Monday I can have a legitimate number. I just need some direction.
What's the first class stamp cost these days, Wanda?
50 cents.
50 cents?
Through us, 55 if you don't, because we.
Their bulk rate's probably 30,
Bulk.
would be my guess.
So what,
If they send them out on postcards, it's probably,
They have to have a permit to do that?
yeah. I bet
And
they
there's a
do.
fee for the permit and a fee going out to a certain
Yeah,
amount.
so the
so
cost was,
surely sounds like $1,000 is plenty.
yeah, so,
You know.
so the thought process behind the 5% is the postage, the manpower, the trouble, the accounting, those are all component parts of that billing structure. They've got to account to us, they've us consistently, so that we can then fold it in on our accounting side and pay Waste Management. Waste Management's not billing Florence,
Billing us.
they're billing us.
So we're
So,
gonna, in theory, we're gonna be short $1,000 a month is what you're proposing, potentially, the most it would be.
yes, and the trade-off of that is that our Waste Services is not billing
Yeah.
1,500 additional residents, which was the request, as I appreciated, that came before you guys. That we don't wanna have to put them into our system, and we don't wanna have to account for that. So somebody's gotta deal with that.
It's $825 a month on postage at $1,500.
Okay.
How long are we willing to do this? Until the next city comes to us and asks us to do it for
Yeah,
them, and then we
so
say, no.
there's outs in the interlocal that says either party is out on 90 days notice.
Bob, how we do Pila, how to do Puckett?
Puckett. You drive through Puckett and blink twice, you missed it.
Well,
you
got
know,
garbage.
the other
twice.
difference is
I mean,
we
I like-
keep all of Puckett's money.
That's right.
Puckett-
We don't give
Puckett's
them
not
back.
really a city.
We don't give any
It's
of
a
our
village.
road money back to
I mean,
Puckett.
they get billed. They're just like a regular in the county how Puckett's handled. I mean, it's just, and I get why, because they just
Yep.
don't have the staff. I'm just concerned is what Daniel had made the comment about is that, you know, I could guarantee you, every
I don't-
alderman for every municipality, the biggest complaint they get,
Yep.
trash.
Yep.
They get their butts chewed on, and, you know, and they can say, man, Florence did it. Man, let's pass it on to the county and let the supervisors handle the trash problem, you know. And that, from a money standpoint, if it all works, that's great, but just from a headache, and granted, I'll be out of here in 6 months and I won't have to fight it, but, we didn't really think hard about, you know, opening that can of worms. We didn't think hard enough about that when we agreed to do this.
Can y'all,
I would cap it at 5% to just not
that's
give
all
the
I need.
incentive to another city. It's still gonna cost them. I mean, they're not gonna cover all their cost with that.
I tend to
It'll
agree.
get them close.
I tend to agree with that.
I don't wanna put it on Becky for that 5 cents.
Judy,
I mean Judy, yeah.
She don't want-
Oh, I know. As you-
that was handled
Are
wrong.
y'all okay with me going back and saying, we will present it on Monday at a cap of 5% is the retainage that Florence would be authorized to keep?
I'm good.
I guess that.
I mean, that part doesn't bother me as much as the whole thing of it.
Really, we discussed figuring a way to try to get them along until they could do an RFP, and just really us not do this. Did we not kind of fall on deaf ears for us? I mean, we had a conversation that says, let's do something for the next 3 months or 4 months, at least to give them the chance to re-RFP their problem.
Can we review it in a year?
Keep in mind that our contract with Waste Management is we're in an extension period already.
All right.
So you can only go one extension, so 3. And I think we're in at least year 4.5. So in my opinion, all of this will be revisited within about a year and a half.
Well, my suggestion, you might just mention the ringer is, hey, and I guess the rest of the board needs to speak to this too, that we're not gonna take this on for the rest of the municipalities in this county. And that if they start coming knocking on our door,
Yep.
we're gonna tell you in
Yeah.
short order.
Yeah, so my thought would be, let me go back to Ringer and say, David, we're gonna keep this going in place like this until we get approached by another municipality. And when that happens, instead of even listening to that, we're cutting Florence.
Give you 90 days to get an RFP and get your own
Correct.
service again. You know?
Correct.
Unless this board wants to take on the rest of the municipalities, they come and knock it. I don't care. I mean, I just think that's a huge.
I guess the
pain
problem
in
is
the ass.
some didn't pay, y'all didn't pay enough attention to when it came in and talked about it first.
I didn't. I promise
I
you.
don't know what
didn't.
happened there.
I didn't think the ramifications of,
Well,
you know.
I mean,
I thought it
that's
was
where it got
using our
crossed up,
contract.
and then, I mean, then it really put me out there and them out there because,
We hadn't heard from the tax collector. The truth of the matter is that that's where this thing got balled up.
Yeah. She should have been able to talk to her, find
Did
out,
not
make sure she was good
anticipate-
with it.
well, I didn't even think about it really because I thought it would be a
Literally,
pretty simple deal.
My thought was, you put the names in our system, you move on.
And I think, yeah,
That was as far as my
well,
brain.
the biggest thing was the
was
phone
willing to go.
calls she was complaining about she'd be getting. I think that was her biggest thing. I don't know, I just didn't want to do it, period.
Yeah,
I wanted compensation to do it, probably.
No, sir, I just wanted some direction. If I got a sense from you guys, the three of you, that a retainage was off the table, I needed to communicate that immediately. So I'm gonna say, let's move forward, let's cap it at 5%, and let's talk about it on Monday.
But
And please
go
don't let
ahead.
me forget to
I
talk
don't
about
know.
it.
Go ahead and bring up the,
This,
It's on,
this,
it's on.
this may be a great opportunity to say, no, we don't want to pay a retainage. That may motivate them to get back on their own own horse and do something on their own to save that money, provide them a little motivation to do that. But I will leave that to Jared. I'm a little hesitant to allow them to have a retainage because of that reason.
My thought is that the retainage that you're capping is not gonna be sufficient to cover their costs, so I think you get the same effect.
I hope so.
If they find out that they're losing money, hand over fist to maintain the billing, they'll be ready to go out to RFP pretty quick. They'll be on horn to waste management.
Okay, whatever you want to do.
I mean, I think that within that fee, there is built in money for administrative costs that we have over here. If we take all the money, I mean, that is well, even if we take 95%, it's still a great encouragement for them to take care of their own, because there's,
We pay tonnage, right? We pay what the tonnage goes to over there. They weigh it every month. They send us a bill, and we just hope that our $50 per head household every quarter, multiply all those numbers,
Actually,
pays all that.
we pay by housetop.
yeah,
Oh, housetop?
Yes,
Rooftop.
so the residential collection, which is what we're talking about.
Right.
The residential collection is by housetop count, by house count. And they charge us $11 and some odd cents per residence, per residential address, right? And that has crept up because there are CPIs that are built into the contract. So I'm not sure exactly where it is now. It may be in the neighborhood of 12 or 13 now, okay? So the solid waste residential collection is by housetop. That's why we've been talking about Florence. We're adding 15, we think 1,500 housetops.
I don't
You're
know.
collecting $16.67 a month for solid waste collection from your residents. And you're paying 12 or 13. So that account is continuing to be in growth mode,
yeah.
which will hopefully carry you for a while until the CPI catches up with that number, and then you're gonna have to go again to refill your account.
Yeah.
So, there is an aspect of the collection that is based on tonnage, and I can't tell you what that
I
relates
just
to,
heard
Bob.
Jay and that guy talking tonnage that day we were here at the last
Yeah.
meeting.
Oh,
That
Jay.
is-
We have two different, one of them is tonnage and one of them is CPI.
Yes.
Craig, I see what you're trying to accomplish, between now and Monday morning, so cause I guess what they meet Monday evening or Tuesday evening for their meeting.
I'm not sure when the next meeting is.
Tuesday.
Bob.
Tuesday.
I know it's a hot ticket for both those other two gentlemen that are not here, which is their own problem for not being here, that's just the way the ball bounces. I see this as a great motivator to get them to just say, sorry, no, we want it all. This is an inconvenience on our part, and you want to tag along, that's just what's gonna cost you. And this may force them to move faster to get off of it before word gets out that we're in the garbage business now for municipalities.
But they're already putting out notice they're gonna be pick up on Tuesday or whatever.
And they probably need to come 2 times a week anyway. They probably need to, set up
So-
their service.
So at that point,
But whatever.
they already put the word out, so what,
Why don't we just revisit this, let's just revisit it at the end of the year.
Yes.
Let's cap it at 5%, and let's put in there that the parties will, review the financial impact of this arrangement in November 2019. That'll be after the election. Everybody's in place now. Nobody's worried about politics at that point, or at least less. And we can revisit the issue and say that there's going to be like a trigger that parties have to re-agree.
All right.
We'll revisit it.
Well,
Works for me.
that's fine, but when do you say waste management's contract's up?
Now,
I don't know the exact, no, sir.
No, it's not now.
Their Waste Pro contract, the Florence.
Right.
No,
Waste Pro
no, I'm talking
oh,
about.
you're talking about
Hours.
hours. Another year and a half or something on hours.
I think we're in year 4.5. But I, don't make a liar out of it, because it could be
Yeah.
3.5, and I just am losing track.
Okay, so what do we, 4.5, so we only got half a year left?
No, sir.
No, 1.5. I think.
1.5 years.
Okay.
I think we'll be revisiting the waste management contract, I think, in September of 2020.
Okay, on this deal, when you contact Florence, just put in there, make sure they know if we start getting pushed from other municipalities, then we're gonna have to just,
I'll tell Dave.
we're not gonna take on any more, and we're not, just tell
We'll give
them.
them the appropriate amount of
I'll
time
tell-
to
Yeah,
get their
right.
RFP
Yeah.
out.
Right.
They don't have
If we
to-
get approached by another municipality, expect to get a letter from me that says, y'all need to hurriedly
Right.
get an
Yeah,
RFP together
yeah.
and get you a.
I think that would be okay,
Yeah.
do it
I'll
that way.
communicate
Okay,
that to him.
yeah, because it's opened up and explained to them, I mean, David explained to them, it's opened up a can of worms.
Y'all all right if I go back and say cap at 5%, we revisit in November?
December.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless somebody, yeah, that'd be fine.
And-
We can hold anybody else off that long,
Okay.
And please, look at your own contract.
Okay,
yeah,
that's all I need.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
all right.
If nothing else, Mr. President, I make a motion, we adjourn until
Second.
April 1st at 9 a.m.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn, 9 a.m. I got a second by
Second.
Jared. All in favor? Any opposed? None.
No.
We are adjourned.